everybody, it's Bryan, and you are listening to the Course Building Secrets podcast. Whether you're a coach or a CEO, the success of your team and clients is based on your ability to deliver a consistent experience and guide them on the fastest path to results. This podcast will give you practical, real-life tips that you can use today to build your online experiences that get results and create raving fans. Why? So you can monetize your expertise and serve more people without adding more time or team to your business. If you're looking to uncover your $1 million framework, package it, and use it to scale, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hey everybody, welcome to today's podcast. So happy to be talking to you today. Today's episode, I want to talk about one of the biggest challenges that people have that I work with. And so here's the thing is the reason that you start looking at online courses or an online experience, whether it's a course, a program, I don't care what it is. It doesn't really matter what it is, right? The reason that you start looking at how do you put your thing online is for two main reasons. One is you're running out of time, right? You're working with one-on-one clients, you're doing done-for-you work, and you're just maxed out, and you think there's got to be a better way to do this that gets my expertise out there in a bigger and broader way, but doesn't kill me in the process, right? And so that's when people tend to start looking at how do I package what I'm doing in a different way? And, I think we'll spend some time kind of diving into this as, in future episodes of sort of the mindset that goes into being able to go from sort of one-on-one to packaging what you do in a different way. But I want to talk about that today because here's the thing is that the biggest thing that stops people from doing this isn't necessarily that they don't want to, right? Like it sounds great to be able to package what you do, have people go through it without you being there and really get results and have you, kind of have the satisfaction of knowing that you're helping people, even though you're not like literally spending every waking hour helping them and reinventing the wheel every single time you have a client, right? But the reality of going from what you're doing to that packaging tends to stop people in their tracks. And a lot of times it looks like, well, I just don't understand the technology and I don't know how to use the tech, so I'm not going to do it. But the real problem isn't actually the tech. The real problem is the concept of how do you create an experience that matches the level of impact and connection and just sort of that hands-on nurturing that you do when you're with somebody in person versus putting that online, right? Because here's the reality is, and this is sort of a hard truth to look at is a lot of times, and I'm saying this with love, a lot of times all of those things that you're worried about in terms of, you need to be there and they need to see you and you need to be hands-on with them. In not all cases, but in a lot of cases, most of that is actually just about you, right? Like you need that connection. You need to show up and maybe you don't have enough planned ahead of time to know how to lead them down a path. And so you're just sort of going on the fly, right? You're just helping them kind of in the moment. And so, but all of that's about you. It's not really about them. And so there's two things really to getting online and kind of automating and packaging what you're doing. And the very first thing is, what's the method behind your madness, right? Like what's your proprietary framework? When you think of working with your one-on-one clients or your done-for-you clients, are you finding that every single time you do it is different? Or it's sort of like whatever they come up with is what you're working on, or every client just has different needs? That's actually not an automation or an online problem. That's a business problem, right? That's a clarity of avatar, or that's really, you need to sit down and determine what your proprietary framework is. And what that means is just like, how do you do what you do? And what's your approach to getting somebody from where they are today to that transformation or result that they're paying you for, right? And if you don't have that sort of mapped out in terms of step by step what you do and how you go about doing it to get them to the outcome, that's the very first place that you start. And honestly, that doesn't matter if you're going online or you're staying doing one-on-one work. Like, dial that in, know exactly how you're taking somebody from point A to point B, and it will free you up so much, even in your business process for one-on-one work. So that's the very first thing, like, and again, that has nothing to do with automation. It has nothing to do with tech. It's really just looking at like, how do I help people? And how do I help people consistently? So you have like one or maybe two different ways that you help people based on how they're coming in. And then that's going to lead you to the question, and I know it's in your head right now, is like, but Tara, all my clients want something a little bit different. So that gets to the next kind of layer of this, which is, do you have one client type that you're helping? Or are you helping anyone who comes in the door and has any kind of problem that you can solve? Or are you just helping that one dreamy avatar that you know that you can help the most? And chances are, if you're like, well, Tara, everything I do is just a little bit different, the person that you're helping is not clear enough. You have to get very clear in helping that one person solve that one problem. Dial that in, create that framework, and then you look at, from there, what's the experience you want to create for them, right? So if you think about what you're doing with your one-on-one clients, maybe you have a project plan, maybe you meet with them weekly, maybe you have some specific touch points, or you send them, I don't know, you send them birthday cards, or you do something, right? Like think about all the things that you do for your clients and all the ways that you show up that you feel like, you know what, if I were to package this or if I were to put this online, Kyle, they wouldn't have the same experience. They wouldn't have the same experience because I'm not showing up, or they're not seeing me, or I'm not helping them when they need it, or, you know, whatever those things are, right? Really define what those things are that you feel like you need to show up for and be present for them. Because here's the thing, is that probably like 80 or 85% of all of the things that you're doing, you could actually create a virtual version of you that would do those same exact things. And then the 20% where you really want to build a strong relationship and connection, then that's when you show up, right? But imagine if you could automate or, you know, kind of make something that you do 80% of the time repeatable, so you didn't have to continuously reinvent the wheel every single time. Just imagine what that would do to your time. Like, just think about even today. What are the things that you have done today that if you had a system around or you had some sort of automation around would have saved you that time and headache of being able to do that? Like, just take a moment and reflect on that. Like, one super simple example that I will give you is scheduling meetings. So I've spent, 25 years or something working with or in corporate. And one of the things that just blows my mind is how often we spend coordinating meetings via email, right? Like, are you available at this time or this time or this time? Or here's 4 options of when I'm available. You know, which one works for you? Go check your calendar. You check your calendar, you come back and you're like, yep, that works, or that doesn't work, or how about this time, or how about that time? And I mean, just think about how much time that wastes cumulatively trying to schedule meetings. And did you know that there is a free automation tool out there where you literally send them when you're available? They click a button and they say, yep, I'm available at this time. This is the meeting time. It automatically goes into their calendar. They get a link to Zoom or Google Meets or whatever you're using. And there's no discussion. There's no back and forth. There's no multiple emails. There's no phone calls. There's none of that. So right? Like, so if you're not doing that, I'm telling you, like, go do that right now. There's Calendly, there's all sorts of different options for you to do that. But that is like table stakes at this point. Especially if you're a school volunteer like I am, that is like crazy, right? So just put something out there that's like, okay, everybody put their times in and we'll find something that works. All that is automatable, right? So do that. That will save you a ton of time. But just think about how you can, like, is there value there in building a relationship by going back and forth trying to schedule a meeting? No, right? All that does is just cause frustration and angst for people. It doesn't further the relationship. So automate it, right? So there's probably like 20 or 30 of those little things where it's not building a connection. It's not improving the relationship. It could be something that's automated and doesn't make any difference to how well that person's going to get results, or how much you show up or whatever, right? So that would be the first thing, is like, those are the kind of the easy things to start looking at to save yourself some time and some energy. And then what you'll do is you'll start looking at the compound effect of that, and like, what are all of the things then that are repeatable or time consuming, or things that really don't provide a high level of value to your client, that you can automate, that you can put on autopilot and just forget about, right? But still creates an awesome experience for a client. If you have an onboarding sequence, for example, and you know that when somebody purchases, that they see a video of you, you send them, a message that welcomes them. You're doing these high touch activities, and it's already all taken care of. They're getting an awesome experience because you're showing up and showing them what they should be doing, giving them the expectations, and really walking them through what needs to happen in the order it needs to happen. They're having an awesome experience. They're getting to know you because you're on video, but you are not physically showing up. Does that enhance the relationship? Yes. Is that something that people feel really positive about? Absolutely. Right? There's no purpose in saying, well, let me get you on a call and walk you through the steps of how to get started, and waste your time doing that, right? You could just follow up with, hey, let's jump on a 15-minute call, schedule it here, and I want to get to know you. That's a much better use of your time and the relationship than walking them through how to use a tool, or how to use this, or even what the steps of the process are going to be. And so really start looking at that in terms of, how do you start packaging and automating the experience and getting yourself out of that mindset of, well, if I create an online experience, if I create an online course, if I stop doing one-on-one and I packaged everything into an online business, it's going to impact the relationship I have with my clients. And as you start taking baby steps and just grab a couple of things that could be done, like calendar tool, super easy, huge time saver, doesn't affect the relationship, like jot all those down, make a list, start with those. And then what you're going to find is you're going to keep pushing the envelope. Like, could I do that? Could I do that? Could I do this? What does that look like? What happens if I would just spend my time connecting with people at a higher level instead of doing all this administrative stuff that could be packaged and automated? And really think about that, because that is absolutely the first place to start as you're going into this change from high touch to online high touch, right? Just because you're going to online doesn't mean you're creating this generic, low touch, relationship, right? You can still create a super high touch, connection with your people, even if most of your business is automated and online. So really start shifting. If you are one of those people who's sort of been struggling with this, is yeah, but my business is different, or yeah, but I need to connect with my people one-on-one, or yeah, but they just need me. Just really consider, one, do they need you for all of it? No, probably not. And what do they need from you? Maybe they just need that phone call once a week or twice a week or whatever else. What if you could just show up with your people either as a group or individually for 15 or 30 minutes a week, and everything else was taken care of on the back end, so they had an awesome experience. They were getting everything that they needed to keep moving forward, and you showed up when it counted. So just really think about that as you reflect on how do you even think about this? And it's not just about creating a course. It's not just about creating an email sequence. It's not just about creating, a sales funnel or whatever else, right? It's really looking at it as a holistic experience of how do I want to show up for my clients, and how can I automate what can be automatable, and then show up and provide the highest level of service when I show up. And really thinking through that. So there you go. That is my course building secret for today. A little bit of a deeper conversation, a little bit more kind of targeted in terms of coaching. But if you just take the time to really think through these things, that hurdle of how do I even think about changing the way that I do this, and the value that you provide online versus in person, really is just a switch in, leveraging your time just a little bit differently than you are today. So hopefully this is helpful for you. One of the things that we spend a lot of time doing, and I know I talk about this every so often and probably not enough, is sometimes this is hard to do on your own because you can't imagine or envision what it would look like to do things different than the way that you do them today. It's really what we specialize in, is being able to help people reimagine the way that they're working to help maximize their time, but also maximize the experience they're getting for people, because it is not only just possible, but it actually provides an awesome, consistent, and reliable experience for the people you're trying to help. And so instead of thinking about, well, the only way that I can show up and provide the highest value is for me to be there in person all the time, it's really looking at showing up and providing the most value when it makes the most sense, right? And looking at it from that perspective. So if you need help with that, if you need help kind of getting out of your own head or looking at your business from a bigger picture perspective, or just kind of starting to map things out, one of the things that we do is really help businesses and business leaders do that, because the reality is this is really hard to do it by yourself when you're kind of in the weeds or you're too close to the process. And so definitely reach out to me if you are interested in just even exploring what that looks like. And if you are one of those people who have just sort of had this niggling, like, I really need to figure this out. I really think that this could work. I just don't know how to get there. Definitely call me and we will talk through it, because it's absolutely possible. And the reality is it's a lot easier than you think it is. It's just a matter of getting clear on the experience that you provide. So, all right, there you go. I will leave you for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. The best thing you can do is to take action on an idea or tip that resonated with you. To help you take action, I have a free gift for you that you can download in the show notes. During each episode, we publish an action plan worksheet and other helpful takeaways from our speakers in the Course Building Secrets Creators Lab. To register for free, click on the link in the show notes. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, are you a business owner ready to streamline and scale your business? Imagine solving the biggest business challenges with clarity, a strategy, and a clear plan. Hey, I'm Bryan, and I want to invite you to take the first step towards transforming your business with a free 30-minute discovery call. This call is an opportunity to discuss your goals, identify key challenges, and learn how my mentorship program can help you achieve the success you're aiming for. In just a half hour, we'll explore how you can scale your business by enhancing your authority strategy, engagement strategy, and retention strategy. You'll get personalized advice and a clear path forward. Ready to take the first step? Click on the link below that's in the show notes to book your free discovery call now. I hope to talk to you soon.